For KBRFradio.com news, I'm Derek Sidian, and this is the weekly news recap, brought to you by Fergus Falls Monument, online at foreverstonmemorials.com, memorials that matter. 40-year-old Brady Everett Anderson of Fergus Falls was arrested by a Minnesota State Patrol trooper during a traffic stop last Tuesday in Underwood after being found in possession of nearly half a kilogram of methamphetamine. When the trooper was speaking with Anderson during the stop, one of his passengers was visually nervous, continuously looking down and covered her lap throughout the entire stop. At one point, the trooper advised that he was going to pat down the female passenger, who then tensed up and cried. Court documents say that there was a baggie in the passenger's waistband that contained about a pound of a crystal-like substance consistent with methamphetamine. Anderson stated that the baggie was his and that he had made the passenger take it. In a search of the vehicle, the trooper found a total of 14 grams of fentanyl and over 478 grams of methamphetamine. Anderson was arrested and is facing a charge of first-degree sale of methamphetamine and multiple charges of possession of drugs. One man was injured following a two-vehicle crash on the eastern side of Ottertail County Saturday. The Minnesota State Patrol responded to the accident around 7:27 Saturday evening. According to officials, a Ford Edge and a Chevrolet pickup were traveling east on Highway 29 in Compton Township when they collided. The driver of the Edge, 53-year-old Ben Nevin McCormick of Sebeka, was transported to Astera Hospital for treatment of non-life-threatening injuries. The driver of the pickup, a 39-year-old woman from Deer Creek, and her 13-year-old passenger were uninjured. A Detroit Lakes man was injured after driving into the back of a snowplow on Highway 34 east of Detroit Lakes. The Minnesota State Patrol responded to the scene around 6:58 Monday morning. According to officials, 23-year-old Austin Lee Engel was traveling west on Highway 34 behind a MnDOT snowplow. Engel's vehicle collided with the back of the plow truck between mile markers 47 and 48. Engel was transported to St. Mary's Hospital for treatment of non-life-threatening injuries. The driver of the snowplow, 28-year-old Zachary Allen Krause of Detroit Lakes, also received non-life-threatening injuries, but he was not transported from the scene. A teenage girl is suffering life-threatening injuries following a head-on collision in rural Wadena Monday morning. Officials with the Minnesota State Patrol say that around 7:47, a Buick LaCrosse was heading west on Highway 29 and a Chevrolet Tahoe was heading east when the two vehicles collided near the intersection of 620th Avenue. The driver of the Buick, a 16-year-old female, sustained non-life-threatening injuries and was transported to Astera Health for treatment. Her passenger, 17-year-old Larissa Hayakawa, was not wearing her seatbelt and sustained life-threatening injuries. Hayakawa was initially transported to Astera before being moved to Sanford Hospital in Fargo. The driver of the Chevrolet, 44-year-old Kelly Jean Schroed of Deer Creek, was transported to Astera for treatment of non-life-threatening injuries. Her 12-year-old passenger also received minor injuries but was not transported for treatment. A man from Pelican Rapids is charged with taking an officer's weapon and deploying it during an arrest. According to court documents, a Pelican Rapids officer and an Ottertail County deputy responded to a potential domestic situation at around 5:54 Saturday evening. Shortly after arriving to the residence, the officers told 28-year-old Cole Edward Franzen that he was under arrest for domestic assault. Franzen ran away from the officers towards the home. The deputy was able to catch him in the entryway where they struggled, with Franzen ending up on top of the deputy on the ground. Court documents say the police officer then deployed his taser on Franzen to no avail. Franzen continued to fight back and was put on his stomach, at which point the police officer placed his taser on the ground next to the scuffle and attempted to assist. Franzen was able to pull the taser underneath him and deployed it on the deputy, who grabbed it and got it away from him. Franzen was eventually placed in handcuffs after several uses of the taser and combative maneuvers by both officials. Franzen continued to fight as he was brought to the squad car by continually falling to the ground and moving away from the door. Eventually, he was placed in the vehicle and transported to the Ottertail County Detention Facility. Branson has been charged with 2 felony counts of domestic assault, 1 count of 4th-degree assault towards a peace officer, and 1 count of disarming a peace officer. He made his first court appearance Tuesday morning. A minor apartment fire in Fergus Falls over the weekend was likely caused by a vape pen. The Fergus Falls Police Department received a report of a fire in an apartment on East Vernon Avenue at around 1:03 Sunday morning. Officials say a small fire was found under a bed and was extinguished with a fire extinguisher. The Fergus Falls Fire Department investigated and found that a vape pen located under the bed was likely the source of the fire. No apartment residents were injured or displaced in the incident. A Fargo man was injured Tuesday following a nasty crash near Star Lake. The Minnesota State Patrol responded to the crash at around 10:22 Tuesday morning. According to officials, a pickup truck was heading east on State Highway 108 near Silent Acres Drive when it left the roadway and made contact with a nearby culvert before coming to rest on the driver's side. The driver and sole occupant, 21-year-old Wyatt Dale Clark of Fargo, suffered non-life-threatening injuries and was transported to Essentia Health for treatment via air ambulance. The Ottertail County Sheriff's Department is warning residents of a new scam call going around the area. The scam caller appears to be a male with a southern accent claiming to be Preston Berg from the Ottertail County Detention Center or other sheriff's office personnel. The caller states they missed jury duty and threatens they need to pay a $6,000 contempt of court fee or turn themselves into jail. If you get this phone call, do not give out money or any personal information. Hang up the phone and call the Ottertail County Sheriff's Department. A couple from Battle Lake has been recognized for their conservation efforts in Ottertail County. Each year, the West Ottertail Soil and Water Conservation District recognizes individuals or organizations for their outstanding accomplishments by improving and protecting Ottertail County's natural resources. This year's outstanding conservationists are Gary and Carolyn Harrington of Battle Lake. Gary and Carolyn own over 400 acres of land consisting of cropland, forests, prairie, wetlands, and lakeshore. Over the years, the Harringtons have planted over 49,000 trees, several pollinator plots, have a forest stewardship plan, and have enrolled acres into CRP and RIM to enhance wildlife and conservation efforts. This has been the Weekly News Recap, brought to you by Fergus Falls Monument, online at foreverstonmemorials.com, memorials that matter. For KBLRefRadio.com news, I'm Derek Sidian. Tune in every Friday at 12:30 on KBLRefRadio.com or on the Fergus Now app to stay up to date with local news. Get more news at KBLRefRadio.com. Sign up for email news sent right to your inbox, delivered by Cooper's Office Supply.